What's up, folks? Sorry I'm running so late here. It's 11th hour fun anyway, though, so. All right. I got a mod in here. Say something if you got a wrench. So, here's what we're talking about tonight. Sort of break down into a series and individuals who interact with the justice system in the state of Indiana. Essentially, the ADA applies to the courts. It's long been settled. Here in Indiana, let's see, House Enrolled Act number 1304, page 39, section 46, and I quote, IC 363512 is added to the Indiana Code as a new chapter to read as follows, effective July 1st, 2015. That chapter says, IC 353612, Chapter 12, Court Appointed Forensic Advocate for Persons with Intellectual Disabilities, Developmental Disabilities, or Autism Spectrum Disorders. Basically, missing a page here. Section 43 of the same House Enrolled Act, IC 3531.5 to 68.5 is added to the Indiana Code as a new section to read as follows, effective July 1st, 2015. Court Appointed Forensic Advocate. What's up, James? Hey, CopCam. Court Appointed Forensic Advocate means a community volunteer who, 1, has completed a training program approved by the court, that includes training in A, the development of a person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder as defined in IC 1112 3.7 2.5, and B, evidence-based treatment and counseling programs for a person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder. 2, has been appointed by a court. Appointed by the court. So a training program approved by the court, then they are appointed by the court to assist a person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder who has been charged with a criminal offense. And 3, what's up, Cindy? This individual who has completed a training program approved by the court and has been appointed by the court may research, examine, advocate, facilitate, and monitor the situation of a person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder who has been charged with a criminal offense, effective July 1st, 2015. Now, the funding for this. What's up, Darren? Well, you know, they keep diagnosing me, so I'll be Happy to be wrong. So, anyway, funding for this forensic advocate comes from IC 111224 G6, G in parentheses, 6 in parentheses. This is from, I believe it's a Community Corrections Advisory Board. Let's check this for sure. IC 1112-2, state grants to counties for community corrections and charges to participating for confined offenders. This would be, let's go ahead and just read it. Purposes for which the commissioner may award financial aid under this chapter include funding a court-appointed forensic advocate program as described in IC 353612 for persons who are on probation, are supervised by a community corrections program, or are participating in a pretrial diversion program. Okay, so they have this individual who is appointed by the court, approved by the court, completed a program by the court, and is funded by the county commissioner's office through the state grants that are given to county for communication programs and things of this nature. So, moving along, this individual is to be involved in the court system. So they're going to complete a training program by the court to basically court-appointed forensic advocate. They're a fucking advocate, court-appointed advocate for autism, developmental disability, intellectual disability. Research, examine, advocate, facilitate, monitor the situation of a person with one of these things that has been charged with a criminal defense and let's look up 353612. 353612.1. A court may appoint a court-appointed forensic advocate at any time to assist a person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder who has been charged with a criminal offense. 2. A court-appointed forensic advocate shall assist the person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder to whom the advocate has been appointed. A court-appointed forensic advocate may recommend to the court treatment programs and other services that may reduce recidivism and are available to the person with an intellectual disability, developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder. 353612.4. A court-appointed forensic advocate serves until the court enters an order for removal. So they're under a court order and they serve until they're ordered not to. 353612.5. Court-appointed forensic advocate, an officer of the court. The court-appointed forensic advocate is considered an officer of the court for the purpose of assisting the person with an intellectual disability, developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder. 353612.6. A court-appointed forensic advocate appointed by a court under this chapter may continue to assist the person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder while the person is undergoing treatment or serving the person's sentence if applicable. Here's where the important parts are. IC 353612.7. Immunity from civil liability. Except for gross misconduct, high standard. A court-appointed forensic advocate, an employee of a county court-appointed forensic advocate program, and a volunteer for a court-appointed forensic advocate program who performs in good faith duties relating to assistance of a person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder is immune from any civil liability that may occur as a result of that person's performance. IC 3536-12-8, user fee. The court may order the person assisted, me, by the court-appointed forensic advocate to pay a user fee to the 1. Court advocate for the services provided under this chapter. User fee collection, 3536-12-9. The court shall establish one of the following procedures to be used to collect the user fee. 1. The court may order the person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder to pay the user fee to the court-appointed forensic advocate program that's provided the services. Or 2. The court may order the person with a developmental disability and autism spectrum disorder to pay the user fee to the individual court-appointed forensic advocate that provided the services. This is a volunteer that they're ordering you to pay fees to. This is a program that they're ordering you to pay fees to, and it's funded by the Community Corrections Board through state grants. IC 3536-12-10, receipt of user fee payment. If the court orders the person with an intellectual disability, a developmental disability, or an autism spectrum disorder to pay a user fee under this chapter, the program or the individual shall report to the court the receipt of payment not later than 30 days after receiving the payment. So, oh my fucking Christ. I know what assisting. I'm going to get to that. Just keep your fucking stupid comments to yourself. Okay. So, now we're going to get to where this gets interesting. On Tuesday, September 25th, 2018, according to the case docket for all three of my current open cases for disorderly conduct / trespass or trespassing / resisting law enforcement, battery, and intimidation. All three misdemeanors. Okay. According to the docket for these three cases, September 25th, 2018, defendant verbally request autism advocate. September 25th, 2018, according to the docket, order appointing public defender, signed 1 week earlier, September 18th, 2018. I objected to this. October 23rd, 2018, according to the dockets, defendant's motion for autism spectrum disorder, Indiana Code 3536-12, advocate, argument heard. Court takes matter under advisement. Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018. According to the docket, court having taken matter under advisement, the defendant's motion for special advocate for autism spectrum disorder under IC 3536-12 under advisement. Court now enters order accordingly. They denied it until I showed them proof that they never asked for it. So I go to court December 20th. Thursday, December 20th. I basically take a psychological evaluation that was ordered by the court February 5th, 2016, or no, February 10th, 2016, when I got arrested the first time, on all the charges that got dismissed. The bullshit trespassing on the sidewalk, the obstruction of traffic in the road afterwards, the disorderly conduct for talking about how there was nowhere to walk other than the sidewalk or the road, the resisting, the made-up battery charge by the officer who's no longer with the department. So, I requested this court-appointed advocate. I basically am told I have to prove that I have autism, which is basically apparently not that fucking hard to do, to be honest. I just took them a psychological report from one of their dipshit ass doctors that they hire through the courts. And so Friday, December 28th, 2018. The docket entry says, email in regards to appointment of autism advocate. Wednesday, January 2nd, 2018, according to the docket. Email response regarding appointment of autism advocate. So, that was Wednesday. Thursday, January 3rd, 2018, 8:09 a.m. I have a voicemail from a Dan Ward, Information and Referral Coordinator for Indiana Disability Rights. Organization called Indiana Disability Rights, and they are the governing authority for this organization is the Indiana Protection and Advocacy Services. Advocate, a long time ago, year, 2 years, who knows, a while ago. Found this organization long ass time ago. Based upon the information on their website, seems like this would be something they'd be perfect for. Literally the only people that would think would do this. Long story short, I'm talking to this dude for about 20-30 minutes on the phone, and he told me he would get back to me. So they end up telling me that this isn't something that their organization deals with. Now, according to their website, of the 26 staff members that they have, 15 are either attorneys, paralegals, managing attorneys, legal directors, or advocacy specialists. Let's see, hold on. Oh, you're going to love this, James. We're going to go to their website. We're going to read their fucking mission statement here. Mission and vision. Indiana Disability Rights is the service arm of the Indiana Protection and Advocacy Services Commission. Our mission and vision guide our work every day. Mission: to protect and promote the rights of individuals with disabilities through empowerment and advocacy. Vision: to live in a society where persons with disabilities are free from abuse and neglect, are free to be effective self-advocates, and are free of discrimination, allowing for full inclusion in society. Which, on its surface, sounds great. This is what they should be doing. The thing is, where's their governing body here? Okay, so excuse me 1 minute here. Yeah, James, there's that's all right. I don't really give a fuck if you want to question my fucking diagnosis, because to be perfectly honest, I don't get denied about myself. This organization claims that they don't do this, and they refer me. They basically pass the buck and refer me somewhere else. However, I don't know if you watch me, but I'm pretty meticulous. So, you know, I looked into all these places and they're all connected, and we're gonna get to how they're all connected and why and where the fucking money's going and how easy it would be to really solve this problem and how it shouldn't really be a problem based upon how easy it would be solved. And really, I just want to know why, because even if this isn't something that I end up being able to utilize throughout my experience with the justice system, it's not in a working format right now. You know, this is supposed to be something that's I mean, it's been on the books for years, and it's not in a functioning fashion to be able to be applied to anyone. I wasn't denied because I was not applicable or anything like that nature. It's what enough? Hold on, I gotta read this. Okay, so you can't come on my page and start talking about how serious fraud upon the court is. You can't come on my page and start talking about how serious fraud upon the court is, because that's what I'm doing. That's my line. Like, I'm the one exposing frauds upon the court. So you need to come in into this, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, anyway, so one second here. All right. Now, this this Indiana Disability Rights, they are well set up to pretty much do this. Their legal director's page. We're going to read the legal director's bio. Thank you for visiting Indiana Disability Rights, formerly Indiana Protection and Advocacy Services. Now, as I read this, try to keep in mind, you know, what the statute says this court-appointed forensic advocate position is supposed to be doing and what they're supposed to be able to do. Thank you for visiting Indiana Disability Rights, formerly Indiana Protection and Advocacy Services. I am Melissa Keys, Legal Director here at Indiana Disability Rights. I oversee 5 attorneys and 13 advocates. We work, I'm assuming it's supposed to be 2, ensure that people with disabilities know their rights, and when necessary, we offer help in upholding those rights through our legal advocacy services. Legal advocacy rights. I oversee 5 attorneys and 13 advocates. Our team is specially trained and has over 100 years combined experience in the disability rights field. Oh, there's fucking 26. Oh my God. It's like 4 years experience per person. 100 years combined experience in the disability rights field. In 2016, our work focuses on abuse and neglect, community integration, justice, education, employment, and voting rights. As a nation, we have come a long way since July 26, 1990, when President George H.W. Bush was fucking selling cocaine everywhere. I mean, signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act, the most comprehensive civil rights statute in history. The purpose of the ADA was to eliminate discrimination on the basis of disability. 25 years later, there is more work to do. Oh, fucking shit. People with disabilities and their allies are still battling stereotypes, still fighting for inclusion, still rallying against institutionalization, still demanding equality in education, in employment, and in the community. That is where Indiana Disability Rights comes in. Right. First time I read this, I was kind of fucking excited. We are here as a partner in the fight for your civil rights. If you or someone you know has had your civil rights violated due to a disability, please contact us. Our goal is equality. Our method is advocacy. Thank you for your interest in Indiana disability rights, Melissa Keys, legal director. Now, that sounds awesome, right? Their Facebook page. Oh, yes, they're absolutely government funded. They're it's Indiana Protection and Advocacy Services, which is interesting because if you look them up, they have a commission, with commission members. I live in LaPorte, Indiana, which is LaPorte County, Indiana. Number one person on the list of commissioners is Emily Barsick. She's a gubernatorial appointment from LaPorte County. What's up, Cop Cam? Yeah, James, it gets better. So this dude, Dan Ward, the Information Referral Coordinator, he refers me to the Autism Society of Indiana. Now, here in Indiana, there's some things you should know. Specifically, we have an Autism Resource Center at Indiana University, Bloomington. Now, the RICO is just getting easier and easier, officer. Like your typical 1983/ADA lawsuit is like a guaranteed fucking winner. I'm tacking RICO onto those. Them withholding all these documents just made it a fucking cakewalk. But thanks. Anyway, Autism Resource Center, Indiana Code 12.11.8.2. The Developmental Training Center at Indiana University in Bloomington shall operate an Autism Resource Center to be known as the Indiana Resource Center for Autism. Kind of fucking redundant. Anyway, so this is a statutory monopoly, essentially. You know what I mean? Like you could fucking start your own Autism Resource Center, but this is a statutorily created, which damn for certain is getting government money, funded university having an autism center. So get to looking into all this. Now, one of the things I noticed immediately is that the Autism Resource Center is directly connected to ADA Indiana, which implements the Americans with Disabilities Act across the state of Indiana, and their steering committee for grant funding just so happens to have Daniel Ward, Indiana Disability Rights Information and Referral Coordinator on it, as well as Amy Shrake, the City of Bloomington Parks and Recreation Department. Then you have their vice chairperson is Frank Epperson, who's Indiana University's human resources person. Then their funding comes from Indiana University on Disability and Community, or Indiana University's Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, as well as the Governor's Council of Indiana for People with Disabilities and the Great Lakes ADA Center. And then they have a liaison to the ADA Indiana as well for the Great Lakes ADA. Now, IU Bloomington having this Autism Resource Center. Something you should know about IU Bloomington is that they are the #1 public affairs program in the country this past year, 2018. That's out of 282 schools. #1 public affairs program in the fucking country. They're number 17 out of 245 educational facilities for psychology. They are number 32 best law schools in the country. It's out of 203. They're top 10 public law schools in the country. They're number 2 social psychology program out of the whole fucking country for 2017. This is where Indiana University Moore School of Law is at. Autism Resource Center, one of the best fucking law schools in the country. This is where this should be taught, trained, what the fuck ever. It just so happens Loretta H. Rush is the class of 1983. If you don't know who Loretta H. Rush is, she's recently signed a bunch of court orders as Indiana Supreme Court Chief Justice. Court orders that actually fucking mean something, not like the court order that they think means something around here as far as not being able to take my cell phone into the courthouse. Because, like I said, she's Chief Justice for Indiana Supreme Court. That's like head motherfucker in charge for the whole state. So basically, she said I can use my phone to take pictures of public records in this building. So that's pretty much what the fuck I'm gonna do. Stay tuned to see how that plays out, and I told you so. So they're gonna move the clerk's office. They're gonna take these fucking signs down. But trust me, what do you think's gonna happen? Anyway, yeah, like I said, great school. Class of 2015, they got like an 80% success rate. People with Juris Doctorate required employment. 10 months out of graduation, they got jobs. Like, it's a fucking awesome school. They have an amazing autism resource center there. Okay. These people. Now, here's where this gets sort of interesting. This guy, Dan Ward, right? He calls me, leaves me a voicemail Thursday, January 3rd, 8:09 a.m. I do a little bit of research, look into the guy. I get kind of excited. They've got a wonderful sell on their website, on their Facebook. Like, I've read a couple of articles that, some of their staff attorneys wrote that was posted on the Facebook page. Seems like a great organization. So I give the dude a call back, 1:24 p.m., Thursday, January 3rd. He missed my call. I leave him a short voicemail telling him I'm returning his call. He calls me back, 1:30 p.m. Spent about 20-30 minutes on the phone with the guy. The video is already up. I just haven't made it public yet. He basically tells me, long story short, what he's trying to do is, all right, first off, he tells me that the judge case contacted this organization. This organization got a hold of my attorney, my public defender that I don't want, who they canceled on December 20th. I was supposed to be there for a hearing on motions that I filed. Special judge, special prosecutor, special public defender, or let me fucking go pro se with a court-appointed forensic advocate. They reschedule my hearing for special judge, special prosecutor, special public defender, and appoint me this court-appointed forensic advocate. You know what I mean? Now, this ain't the first time. I requested one of these September 12th, 2017, and October 24th, 2017 in my last case, verbally. They take it under advisement on September 12th, 2017, and then on October 24th, 2017, basically it's under advisement, and they tell me November 14th, I'm going to come, or no, September 12th, it's under advisement. October 24th, I'm supposed to have a hearing. Now, October 24th, I show up for the hearing. Then they address the fact that I've challenged jurisdiction multiple fucking times. So they reschedule until they figure out jurisdiction. I go back November 14th, 2017, charges all get dismissed. They don't fucking appoint me a forensic advocate. They don't address jurisdiction. They just dismiss everything because I've challenged jurisdiction. That's why. Anyway, so they had over a year's notice of that this statute exists. You know what I mean? somebody could have looked into this. This wasn't their first fucking rodeo with me asking for this statutorily created position. It's supposed to be for me. So, going back, the judge gets a hold of this organization. This organization gets a hold of my attorney. My attorney gives this dude my personal cell phone number and then gives this dude my great aunt's personal cell phone number. He calls both of us the same day, and basically has this long conversation with me where he's trying to basically tell me that he needs me to email him and let him know basically why my attorney can't do these things. And I basically explain how what he's telling me sounds a lot like I'm supposed to prove ineffective assistance of counsel to this disability rights organization in order for them to, like, and the phone call's hilarious. Like, I'm gonna make it public probably tonight or tomorrow. I'm not really sure yet. But basically, I'm explaining all this shit, Indiana code and all this stuff. This dude has no fucking clue what the fuck I'm even talking about. Like, even, like, the motherfucker called me, left a voicemail, was ready to fucking talk. I called him back 5 hours later. You know, the judge called him, you know, this was fucking, I don't know, a week and some change afterwards. So it's like the dude could have fucking Googled it or something, you know what I mean? At least he didn't even have the numbers for the Indiana code at all. Like, no fucking clue what the fuck he was even calling me about. Then he spends like 20, 30 minutes on the phone with me. The next morning, 8:11 a.m., Friday, January 4th, calls me, leaves me a voicemail that says, and I quote, "In regards to the court-appointed forensic advocate, that is not something our agency does. However, I do have a referral for you. You can contact the Northeast Autism Society of Indiana, Samantha Drudge, 1-800-609-8449, extension 14. So basically, this dude passed the buck and fucking literally gave me a 1-800 number. Now, the Indiana Disability Rights Facebook page, November 2nd, 2018, 5:40 p.m. Are you attending the Coalition for Court Access conference today? Check out Melissa Keys. It's the legal director. Presentation about supported decision-making at 2:45 p.m. That would be 2:45 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. with Nick Parker from the Indiana Legal Services and Melissa Keys from the Indiana Disability Rights. Both of these are listed as having a Juris Doctorate. This is in regards to terminating guardianship for adults who and supportive decision-making, SDM programs. On their Facebook page, November 17th, 2018, 9:04 p.m. Interested in learning about reasonable accommodation with Emily Munson and Bonnie Bomer? Like, reasonable accommodation, that's literally the fucking definition. Anyway, Jessica Trimble, Director of Communications and Outreach, WFYI Indianapolis, December 19th, 2018, Facebook Live, 3:26 p.m. How to contact us. What's our process when you call intake? Oh, the Client Assistance Program, which Emily Munson and Bonnie Bomer run. None of these things are fucking accessible. But if you look up the Koros ADA community grants for 2019 in regards to community accessibility, there's $3,000 available. And I'm willing to bet that it's going to go to a similar fucking thing like this where it gets just tied up into a bunch of different accounts that are being shared by multiple organizations where they're voting on giving each other money, such as giving a grant to the city of Bloomington, or the Southern Indiana Center for Independent Living, which is where Chris Spinks, one of the 10 members on the steering committee, seems to work. Like I said, there's a lot of it that connects directly back to IU. But then locally, that's where it gets fucking great. Locally, the fact that they tried to ship me off to fucking Indianapolis so all these dickheads cannot know what's going on when I talk to them is the best part, because locally we have a company called Paladin. Program title: Program Services to Eligible Persons with Disabilities, from the Family Social Services Administration, Division of Disability and Rehabilitative Services. $7,213,218.58. That's $7.2 million. I went to one fucking place locally. This place is in LaPorte County. They're 15 minutes away from here. Why they don't have an advocate, have no idea. They have $7 million. I'll figure out how the fuck to be an advocate for. Just give me that 213,218.58. Give me $213,218.58. I'll figure out how to be an advocate. I'll become two of them. $7.2 million. They can't find a local. You got your number one commission member is right here in fucking LaPorte County. But they try to ship me off to Indianapolis because, as I found with just about every service that they take your money and tell you goes to people who have disabilities, which is why when you say you have a disability, people think that you can't tell, but there's just fucking stacks of tax dollars. Like that's what's insulating all this. Tax dollars just flow in. As soon as I was born with a different brain, it was like a fucking Monopoly board factory just exploded and fucking tax dollars went everywhere. I'm like a magnet for tax dollars. It's amazing. So many tax dollars. Anyway, so that's why, because there's so many of these services that are really getting governmental money that are supposed to be doing these things, that you really think that people who have disability and mental illness and things of this nature, veterans, you think these people are really getting governmental money to deal with their hardships, and they're fucking not. They're not. It's fucking amazing. Because it's on paper, this is an amazing thing. People have problems with communication. The justice system is a pretty serious thing, and where anything you say can and will be used against you individually differently. And essentially, this is what this is like an interpreter. This is a translator. Whereas instead of not speaking English, you don't speak neurotypical, which can be very problematic in a courtroom setting. So on paper, this is an awesome thing, but it's all the resources are fucking there. The funding, the money, the process, the approval, the definitions, the statutes, everything. It's all fucking there, but it's not available. It's not in functioning order. They're just spending money on, like, what this reminds me of is when I was 18, I was purchasing a stereo system for a vehicle to play music in louder. And the technician who was installing it asked me a very interesting but life-changing question. What this gentleman said was, do you want stereo system to be loud, or do you want it to appear to be loud? And I didn't understand him at the time, but now I understand it, because there is a difference. There is a difference between being 3 blocks away and being right up next to something, and perception changes it all. What most services that your tax dollars are being spent on are things that appear to be loud, but they're not actually loud. When you get close, you figure out that it's bullshit. It's all bullshit because they're spending shit tons of money. You know, they do all this nonsense on paper, but if at the end there's not actually human beings experiencing all these theoretical things that money are being spent on, what's that called? That's called a scam. Like, it's called a scam. And it's I'm going to continue to look into this. I got a lot more shit. I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg here. But it's interesting because it's not that hard to connect the fucking dots. It's not that hard to figure out that this organization that claims that that's not what they do should maybe change their fucking website and their Facebook page up a little bit, and I don't know, stop using the words legal advocacy as much, because now that it's statutorily defined, you know, to mean something else, gets a little confusing when you're not the one that actually takes care of this. So I'm gonna probably we'll probably upload the attorney's calls, because yeah, I call this attorney and he fucking, oh yeah. So I get a call from this attorney this morning, 9:12 a.m. telling me basically, it was almost like it sounded like a probation officer calling me, because he basically told me he needed me to come in Saturday morning. It's coming Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Now, mind you, I fucking hate this attorney, and I'm not going to go there when it's not regular business hours to a building that's good, because it's a law office and it's Saturday morning, and I expect they'll be closed, and it's just going to be me and this attorney that I hate at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. So I expect that he's going to be drunk like normal, and he's pretty much going to tell me to fuck off. Am I ready to sign a plea bargain yet? And then I expect that what they want me to do is beat the shit out of this motherfucker. And after him being appointed to like 5 of my cases and repetitively trying to sell me off, that's basically what his purpose is. He's locally known. His name's James O. Cup, but everybody for the past 10 years that I've lived here has called him James Run-em-Up Cup. And his purpose is to sort of shut you the fuck up. He doesn't actually file anything. He doesn't do anything that a lawyer does. Like, he only wants a continuance. And basically, whether you're in jail or out on bond, eventually you reach a certain point in time where you just want to be done with fucking dealing with cases, whether you're guilty or innocent or what the fuck ever, and you plead guilty. This is his MO. This is why they appoint him. If you want to go pro se, you want to represent yourself in LaPorte County, James Cupp's about to be appointed to your fucking case as a hybrid counsel. And then what's going to happen is this motherfucker's just going to do what the fuck he does anyway, and they're going to act like you're going pro se. So then they'll pick and choose little tidbits of shit where you're actually arguing for the right to represent yourself and claim that you're like representing yourself in a hearing or something of this nature, but not a hearing that's scheduled. It'll just be after you leave court, you look at the fucking docket 2 days later and it says there was a hearing, and you're like, when the fuck did I have a hearing? And you can call James Cupp and ask him, and hell, you can call him 10 fucking times in a week, and you know what'll happen is his attorney will threaten to call the fucking cops on you. Maybe we'll fucking dig that video up and upload that. But basically, like I said, I had court on November 20th, and they're trying to revoke my bond. This motherfucker called me at 6:43 a.m. to tell me I had court at 8:30 a.m. And he didn't even call twice. He left me a fucking voicemail, and that was it. We have court in 1 hour and 47 minutes. See you there. Petition to revoke your bond. Why can't my attorney do it? Because I don't want a fucking attorney, because this motherfucker's a goddamn drunk, dumb fuck, and he shouldn't be allowed to practice law. To be perfectly honest, a real mentally ill person, a real crazy person, is probably going to beat the shit out of this motherfucker. I think it's dangerous. Like, they got this man playing with people's lives, and he doesn't give a fuck. He acts like it's nothing. Eventually somebody's gonna fuck him up in court. When they get 100 years for fucking 3 misdemeanors because this dude's a fucking goofy, like, somebody's gonna beat the shit out of him. What's up, Froggy Master 77? Anyway, so I'm trying to get this attorney off my case. I have a hearing. I go for the hearing. It just so happens all of a sudden now they want to appoint me this fucking forensic advocate. Then as soon as they appoint me the forensic advocate, they're like, well, hold on. We gotta resolve that. We gotta find you a forensic advocate before we can have a hearing on special prosecutor, special judge, all these other things. So it's like they utilized this to sort of stall ruling on my motions, because otherwise I'd be in a different county by now. Different prosecutor, different judge, different fucking public defender, or I'd have the ability to represent myself without these motherfuckers trying to impede it. Instead, now nothing happens till till February 14th. I don't have another court hearing till February 14th. So as of right now, none of my motions are being ruled on. They've all been stalled, basically, which is stupid, because in Indiana we have what's called a lazy judge rule, 53.1. I can file to have these motherfuckers kicked to the state and demand a ruling after so much time. So not fucking smart move, to be honest. But they tried to use this thing to pacify me and stall and give themselves time to figure out what the fuck they're going to do. And it's not actually available to them from the state or where the fuck ever, or they didn't look into it at all. And it's all on me. Like, it's a volunteer. Hold on. So this is a court appointed volunteer that they're getting money from the state that goes through the county commission to pay the Community Corrections Advisory Board to fund this program for these volunteers, and then I get charged a fee. But the best organization for it doesn't do it, and they referred me to somebody else, and then I'm here's an 800 number, fuck off. I don't know if that's like, I can just bring any fucking, oh yeah, there's a fee. I can't even figure out what the fuck the fee is yet because they're a volunteer. It's a it says that I can pay them, or I can, the court can order me to pay one or the other, the program or the fucking volunteer. But the program is funded already. It's already funded. Like, so they're either covering their own losses or they're having me pay a volunteer when the volunteer is not actually getting the fucking money. I don't know. I don't know how the fuck it's supposed to work. But like, even on paper, this shit don't add up. But it's, I'd like to see it personally resolved locally, because we just voted in a new prosecutor. The old motherfucker's out. The new guy coming in, he seems like he might do some good shit around here. His wife seems like she might do some good as well. They've got a fresh start, so we're gonna see what they do. But I'm hoping that he can maybe look into some of this when I get a chance to sort of to get all done with all this, to see whether or not he's gonna be on my case or what. But there's funding all through the statutes. There's all sorts of shit spelled out. You know, the processes for everything, for entire courts to deal with this, not just corner point in position, but there's shit spelled out that's pretty much for like mental health courts. It's just not being utilized. It's being funded, and the funded ends up who the fuck knows where. I'm assuming the people that are being told they're volunteers aren't getting money later, and being all surprised about it because they didn't expect it. I'm assuming they just stay volunteers, and that money goes to who knows. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up for now. I will, however, probably, like I said, the attorney basically, his passing out my confidential information, confirming that he did it, and then this Dan Ward information and referral coordinator claiming that the judge referred him. And then he flat out says that my attorney gave him my number. He also called my aunt. And then there's this conversation with him. So I'll probably upload that conversation with him. I got to record the voicemails. I got a screen recorder, but when I got the voicemails on speaker, it gets kind of muffled. So I'm gonna record them with my handheld camera, and I'll upload all that tomorrow probably. But then I'm gonna make another couple more videos addressing how deep of ties I can find, and how kind of a flow chart I can figure out with addressing who's tied to who, because I can already see immediate connections between everything and the people that are controlling everything. I just can't figure out where the money ends up yet. But I know they're pretty well funded. People want to help. People want to do the right thing. People want to see inclusion. People want to see people with mental health issues and disability issues of all natures, physical, emotional, mental, whatever, able to be helped. People know that a very small percentage of this fucking money in the grand scheme of things is even being spent on this to begin with. And people believe that these things that they hear about when they watch C-SPAN, when they watch the news, when they watch what the fuck ever, and they say, oh, this new thing's happening, people think that this shit's really being implemented. They think it's really being applied. They think it's really being available to the people that need it. But the reality is administrative costs are 99%. what was it? Who was it? Locally, here in the city of LaPorte, it's our, all right, here in Indiana, we have community development block grants. These are federal funds that get passed down to the state level. And then they also go to the county and local levels. You gotta, you apply for these grants. The community development block grant coordinator gets like 40 something a year. Okay. And then she's not even really coordinating the shit because most of the money is going to places where you'd expect it to go based upon who owns the place or what it's near or what neighborhood it's in, like such as sidewalks. Like I can show you a perfect fucking sidewalk and it's in a triangle around a triangle of grass, but it happens to be across the street from the church that all the big wigs and elites locally go to. So it's like they spent money on a sidewalk that nobody really uses simply because it's visible one day a week as they're like walking in and out of church. Like I gotta look at that fucking ugly. We'll just spend $100,000 at Pavey and fucking. That's the local company that gets all the money for. So you look at a list: Pavey, 80, 90, 100 grand, 120, 90, 100 sidewalks. Can't fix the fucking roads, but they'll fix sidewalks in neighborhoods where nobody's too poor to walk. Anyway, like I said, 7.2 million went to just one organization, one 501c3. 7.2 million fucking dollars locally. They can't find anybody that does this position. Yeah, Froggy. Yeah, community development block grants. If you're looking into that shit, another thing you want to look into is you want to look into your redevelopment commissions. You want to look at your economic development commissions. Some new shit you're probably going to be fucking hearing about is stormwater management fees. They're going to start charging you for rain, stormwater management fees, yada, 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 yada. But you're probably already paying for sewer works and water works, bonds that they've sold. Because what they do is they create these. All right, basically they create a fee. Like currently right now, we have a stormwater management fee that's just been implemented, $5.49 a month. It's roughly like $68 a year or some shit they said. First 5 years supposed to get them, or no, this is to cover the first $1.4 million. Over the next 5 years, their 5-year plan is a $20 million plan. So what they're doing is they've implemented this fee and they're creating a revenue stream. Okay. And it's basically like credit. What they're doing is they're building their credit up. It's a municipality. They're taking this money coming in from the taxpayers. They're building up their credit basically with this money. They create a revenue stream and then they bond it. They bond this revenue stream. Then after a couple of years, they can sell the bond. And then what they'll do is they'll sell to them fucking selves sometimes. And they'll create LLCs and 501c3s known as economic development corporations and redevelopment corporations and shit like this. And then they basically, what they do is they limit the public's ability to request remonstrance by doing this. Like something like the city council or the county council, some shit like this, you have a longer time to appeal their decision-making process. But I think like, all right, in Indiana, our redevelopment commission, they can pass some shit. And I think you have like 48 hours to appeal it. Like 48 hours. That's it. Like to draw up all the paperwork or whatever the fuck it's going to be, gather evidence. You know what I mean? If you want to appeal this decision or try to halt it or anything, I think you have like 48 hours. It might even be 24. Whereas like the city council, you have like 30 days or something to appeal a rulemaking action or something, final action by the ultimate authority, what the fuck ever. So that's what they're doing is they're yeah, and that's another thing is it's like with the redevelopment commission, they don't have to do as much transparency because like, all right, for instance, in Indiana, where it's, I imagine they've done this shit everywhere because it's all, you know, where the fuck you think they learned how to steal money from the federal government? Usually our laws, something, you know, we mimic federal law and utilize the language and terminology from their stuff a lot to do what we're doing in the state all across the country. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a normal thing everywhere, because it seems to work, to be honest. It's all legal and legit and nobody fucking notices and you can't get in quick enough to try to argue with it. And once the money's gone, it's gone. And it's fucking, what's up, civilian? By the way, James, I'm fucking give you a wrench, man. I'm trying to pass them out so I can start doing more of these lives. Developmental corporation funded by city tax. Here it all leads back to the UN. Yeah, what do they call yours? Do you guys we got tax increment financing districts, TIFs, TIFs, and then they like, dude, it's wild, man. Like it's like you need a home office, couple whiteboards, better get yourself a copy machine, fucking get yourself, I got a big ass old wooden table here. You can add a couple leaves to it, spread it out, spread all your shit on. But yeah, if you start looking into your deep redevelopment commissions and shit like this, be prepared. That is a deep rabbit hole. It's like the money, like it's like bounces around. It's like they don't even have to go to like Cayman Islands or wherever the fuck, you know, Switzerland, all this shadow accounts and shit like that. They don't have to do that shit anymore. They take that shit. What they do is they tell you, we've got to fix the sewers. The sewers are so old. We got to fix everything. Well, didn't you just charge us for that a couple years ago? No, this is different. This is a new problem that we didn't even know about. Blah 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 blah. But then once you get to asking enough questions about it, they'll be like, "This has been a plan for 20 years. You know, everything's, you know, you're going against the grain." Like they back and forth and back and forth. Like they tell you that they've come up with a new problem that they got to fix, but then they act like they know what the fuck they're doing. And rest assured that all the money they're going to spend, you're going to be able to fucking 9 times out of 10 trace to one of their fucking, like I said, with the transparency shit, redevelopment commissions here in Indiana, pretty much, like, I think locally, what the fuck they had, like, it was like 53% of their meetings were executive sessions, which is basically private. All the, like, it's, they don't have to have any minutes. It just says real estate. The topic was real estate. Like, redevelopment commission, real estate. Now, surprise, surprise, you sure the fuck know there's a construction company fucking chairperson or owner, CEO, or the fuck he's called. His name is in the fucking, like, it's his name is the company on the board. It's every one of these motherfuckers, every board, commission, you will find direct connections to where the money's going, or some like Kevin Bacon, couple degrees kind of shit, not even 7. But it's not hard, like, especially if you live in a small town. That's the crazy part, is it's honestly, I think it's a lot easier. Like, Here in LaPorte, you can fucking drive around and figure out who runs shit by based upon street signs and what the roads are named. You can figure out who the long money is around here. And there's a lot of Freemason shit, like a lot of masonry ties. A lot. Like, if anybody kills me, it probably won't be the fucking police. Anyway. Yeah, Civilian X. City attorneys do a lot of this. Because, like, all right, locally, I hate to say it, but it seems like most of my city council members are fucking oblivious to what the fuck's going on. They just trust that their attorney is giving them proper advice, sound advice. And, you know, these attorneys tend to get these municipalities into some shit around here. But they're not, like, I don't even know if these motherfuckers know that they're stealing money sometimes because they're so out of touch with the process. It's just the attorneys being like, we're going to get this much money. We're going to have it then. And that's it. It's like they don't give a fuck about anything else. It's just get the money. Yeah, like, all right, Froggy. Yeah. Now, the thing is, unless it's really fucked up, unless the environment's really fucked up over there, unless they let some companies do a bunch of dirty dumping for a long fucking time, and then now it's the city's responsibility to clean it up, then they're not going to fucking do remediations. They're not going to do closures. They're not going to fucking, they do not want to do studies because we got an area like that here where eventually, like, they've spent $8 million on this fucking place, and it's a field right now. It's just a field where they will tell you that it's not unsafe, but don't lick the dirt. We're gonna put family residences here. Yep. Studies, subcommittees, subcommittees. Yeah, Froggy Master, you got some shit like urban enterprise zones. That's getting to be our thing. I'm still learning about those. That's your, it's like special set of fucking shit to where they control everything within these certain areas, so they can basically, long story short, it's for gentrification. Your urban enterprise zones are for gentrification, so they can put all these restrictions on fucking, what businesses are coming in and who they're going to allow. And it's so when you get to environmental shit, like, all you need is a person in the right fucking place that nobody thinks about. If you get a motherfucker to sign off, dude, if I had somebody in like, let's say I had somebody in the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. You can't get anything engineering done without my buddy signing off of it. That's any construction bid. That's anything, like fucking sewer, whatever. Like, whatever the engineering company is that is supposed to get this job, they're the one whose plans are going to be safe and what the fuck ever. This is why you'll see when it's like, well, this person gave the lowest bid, but this person we're more comfortable with. We have a long-standing relationship. This person's worked with the city for all these years. That means that's their fucking buddy. That means it doesn't matter what the fuck his plan is. Your shit ain't going across a certain desk. There's a certain desk somewhere. It doesn't matter where the fuck it is, somewhere down the line. They've got that motherfucker sewn up, and It doesn't matter who bids on the job, how fucking good their work's going to be, how cheap they're going to get it done, how great it's going to look in the fucking end. Their fucking proposal is not making it off of that one desk. And basically, they're going to fucking hold this shit up. You'll see it. City councils, what the fuck ever. They're holding up a project until the right motherfucker gets approved. And that right motherfucker is going to be their buddy. Like, that's it. Like, the shit ain't hard to figure out. It's just that it's boring. I mean, I get it. It's boring to most fucking people. A dollar store, huh, Cindy? But it's crazy, man, because it's not hard to figure out that that's why the cameras are a big deal. That's why public records are a big deal, because they see it. They see it as the beginning. Like, governments and cops and all these motherfuckers stealing money because they're attached to bankers and real estate and all this. They've seen it in the beginning when people started recording out of a desire for accountability and transparency. They seen this shit coming. It was only a matter of time before we would start to push the limits, before people would, that whole recording in public spaces. Like, watch how hard it is for me to get into the fucking clerk's office. This is a public space, public area, public. Everything about it's public. It's been approved. Like, on the state level, cameras to take pictures of public records has been fucking decided upon. Like, but my county is going to push it until they're absolutely fucking forced. They're not going to do it by any knowledge that they're supposed to. It's going to be like a court order. Like, I'm going to have to get a fucking injunction. But they're not going to do it unless they have no other options. And that's what I have to do, is to give them no other options, to where I'm basically going to try to make them move the clerk's office, because the clerk's office is the county commissioner's responsibility. The county commissioners is supposed to provide space for the clerk's office. If this space is not accessible to the public, then they can't have the clerk's office in there. So they're going to take down these signs. Like I said, told you so. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, but yeah, I might go to the clerk's office tomorrow, to be honest. I don't know yet. I'll let them wonder. There's a bunch of them that watch my video. There's even a couple of like jail guards that watch my video. So I might not. Don't want to give them too much heads up, but let them wonder. But like I said, that's why they don't want you in there. Like, you know what I want to go in the clerk's office and take pictures of? Campaign finance and expenditure reports. We just did elections. I went and got a good couple copies of some shit, some of the more important ones, but there's fucking 2 binders like this thick. I wasn't about to make copies of all that shit because they're trying to charge me by the page for one. I mean, it's not that much for a couple pages of some shit, but 2 binders at fucking 15 cents a page. This is about to add up quick. Because I'd like to see all of it. You know what I mean? I can take my phone, however, and because it's 2019, there's a wonderful app called Adobe Scan. I can literally take pictures of every single fucking page and put them into one PDF document. And that motherfucker's right. Just bam, like that. 2 binders full of shit. 3 button clicks away. Like, they want the money, but at the same time, it's not just about the money. You know what I mean? They're not making that much money off of you fucking, you know what I mean? Not everybody wants to come in and get fucking 2 binders full of fucking paperwork. I want to be able to go through it all and see how many people have the same people donating to them. How many people donate to multiple people. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck runs the shit with money, because it's not hard to figure out if you got the paperwork. That's what it is. They don't want you to have access to the paper trail. And what it is you need it all. Like, you need that whole two binders. If you want to know what the fuck is going on with your elections and politicians and who's bought and paid for, you need the whole two binders. Like you need to see everybody. You need to know who's going to lie for who, things of this nature, because you'd be surprised what you find. Like, the mental health court plans that the prosecutor that lost had were probably going to go to Sharon Sachs of Sachs Clinical. Just happens to be who the courts use. Then you have locally a place called the Swanson Center. That's your problem-solving court, drugs and alcohol. I believe one of the county attorneys is on that board. His wife's a judge. She'll send you right to the fucking Swanson Center quick, because her husband's on the board. I'm sure he's making some money off of that, because if you think $7 million to that one company was something, that ain't shit. This is the company that runs the mental health around here. I'm pretty sure they're about to get this fucking hospital and do something with it. So it's all tied together. You know what I mean? So never forget who's responsible for all this. And it's the people. If you live in America and you tout this whole freedom shit, you should be running the fuck around with a camera, asking questions, asking to look at fucking paperwork. Because bottom line, with rights comes responsibility. Like, you want freedom, like, that shit freedom ain't fucking real if you can't afford it. Like, what happens when you can't afford freedom? What happens when these motherfuckers have taxed you and feed you and sub-feed you until you're fucking poor, and all you can do is work 60 hours a week to fucking survive? And that's why you can't watch city council meetings at 2 a.m. when they fucking air these motherfuckers. That's why you can't go down to city council. You can't go to city hall and fucking badger them for the meeting minutes so you can read what the fuck's going on, because they won't actually put the shit online. They just tell you that it's online because they don't want to fucking interact with you. What happens when you absolutely have no involvement in the fucking process, but they're taking your money? Like, and you're not free, motherfucker. You gotta go to work. You gotta go to sleep. Like, you gotta pay your bills. Like, how the fuck do you think you're free? Like, you're not free. These motherfuckers have control over everything. Every dollar, every rule, every law, every decision, every process. And it's all legal. And the problem is most of the time, there's a spot. There's an open spot for the public that the public doesn't use. You know what I mean? If you looked at the shit like a table, just imagine that there's an open chair at the table every fucking time they have a meeting. That's on us. That's our chair. You know what I mean? It's not where they're not letting us sit at the table and you literally got to bully your fucking way in and pull up a fold-up chair. Like, there's a chair that's meant for us. The public, in the law and the statutes, there's room for the public to interact with their government. It's on the people to understand that with those rights that you're talking about all the fucking time comes a responsibility to engage with your local government, to be informed about what the fuck they're doing, to go and open your fucking mouth when they're fucking up, to go and ask questions about where the fuck your money is going, and actually stand on the fact that you don't want it to go to certain things, and that you prefer to go to certain shit, and that you're going to hound them until they actually spend the money that's yours and your neighbors on the shit that you and your neighbors are going to enjoy. Like, that's on you as a citizen. Otherwise, you have no expectations of enjoying any kind of freedom. Like, I appreciate my freedom. I've literally been in a cage. So I accept responsibility. I accept responsibility for holding the other motherfuckers accountable, like, so they don't set a bad example. And that's basically what it is it's wrong. Like, above all else, stealing $3 million and calling it miscellaneous every 2 weeks, that's fucked up. Like, it's more than you should be concerned about as far as asylum seekers or people with mental health issues, drug addiction, all these things that people focus on. You know, there's crazies and immigrants and junkies running around, and they use all these trigger words to fucking justify the shit to themselves. But in reality, your government's doing way worse shit to you than the boogeyman ever could. And you let it happen because you don't want to fucking know what's going on. I expose it because sunlight's the best disinfectant. You should do the same. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I'm getting fucking tired. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for watching. To my mods, thanks for watching. Good session. Like I said, I'm gonna touch on more of this as I go along. Probably break it down into a little bit of a series. Oh, by the way, like Civilian X and, you know, people that watch me fairly regularly, as we were watching this video, there should have been like 6 upstairs uploading new vids. And I posted a post in the community shit. There's a Facebook link to a video that's the original Pat Downs search. You hear me referring to Pat Downs a lot. The original Pat Downs search is on my Facebook Live. So there's a link in the community part of the Facebook for that. But then I uploaded like 6 more. But then there's one, it's a Pat Down from September 5th. Now, out of all the trolls I got, I'm pushing like 500,000 views now. And the only fucking video that has ever got reported for anything. Now, mind you, trolls. I mean, so much shit talking in my comments. The only video that's ever got deleted off my YouTube is this September 5th, 2017 video. And it was like reported into oblivion for bullying harassment or some shit. Bullying and harassment or some shit. So I tried to re-upload that today. No go. They shut me down for the same bully harassment shit. So I'm assuming it's like the you know, the internal fucking, you know, your properties of the fucking video. So it recognizes that I'm trying to upload the same videos. So I'm probably going to try to take a video of this video or something of that nature, and yeah, fucking switch up the algorithms and try to get around it. I tried to dump it in with these 6, and it still shut it down. So but it's interesting because there's I think 2, maybe 3 pat down videos. 2 of them are on Facebook, or maybe one of them's on Facebook. One of them I didn't upload, but only one of them is on YouTube. There's only one pat down video on YouTube, and it's the only video that was reported enough to get deleted by YouTube. So obviously the LaPorte Police Department and their fucking trolls has a bit of concern about this one video because they were fucking up. And oh no, Froggy Master. It's funny you mentioned that. Just my name, Civilian X Christopher Throgmorton. You'll see it. It says it's got me listed as like a pain in the ass at the courthouse or something as my job. Yeah, Froggy, what'd you say just now? Damn it. I lost my thought here. Yeah, free speech is not allowed anymore if you have an alternative point of view. Let me explain something to you that in LaPorte, Indiana, we have this guy named Michael A. Christensen. And long story short, I'm going to do a complete video on this motherfucker here soon. But this dude did like 15 years in prison. He got arrested here in LaPorte, Indiana, like 16, 17 years ago. Basically, he likes to give 12-year-old boys blowjobs. He was a AWOL soldier and a child molester. Gets convicted, does like 15 years, and he ends up getting out and getting released and coming back to LaPorte. And uses this veteran status, even though he was like AWOL, to get assistance through the local trustee's office. And he went ham. He set up shop in LaPorte, Indiana. He lives at 101 Bond Avenue. His name's Michael A. Christensen. He's got a felony child molestation. And he has some internet pages. Indiana Freedom Alliance. Indiana Freedom Alliance. LaPorte Sentinel, SENTINEL. And then could look into Ameriscribe Braille, AMERISCRIBE. If you're not good with research, you're going to want to look into like Bizopedia, some things of that nature. You'll be able to figure out how to tie these things to a one Lisa Pierzakowski that works at the Center Township Trustee's office here in LaPorte. He basically used this woman's information fraudulently to open a bunch of 501c3s because what he's doing is advertising the city of LaPorte as a pedo haven, basically saying that our fucking police are so stupid and everything's so laxed that you too could get released from prison and move right to LaPorte, and they'll help you, integrate back into the community. Now, as much as I hate the fucking police, every man has a code. So I actually reached out to the LaPorte Police Department, the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department, the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force through the LaPorte County Prosecutor's Office, Jim Pressel, Mike Boacek, all kinds of motherfuckers, right? The LaPorte County Herald Argus, my local newspaper. If you want to use the victim's name and talk about how it's completely normal, how children are attracted to you and children are just seducing you and children have the right to try being molested by you. There's nothing wrong with you. And you're uploading all these things on how to get around fucking police tracking of your computer activity with cryptic shit, and you're uploading shit on how to make complaints against probation officers that won't let you live next to children and shit like that, and you're utilizing all this with an AWOL status, veteran status through the trustee's office, and basically trying to help pedophiles. Like, it's just fucking crazy. You know what the LaPorte Police Department said? This motherfucker has his First Amendment right to freedom of speech. I don't. These motherfuckers try to arrest me for fucking public comment. But you can say that you want to fuck some kids, and that's normal. That's First Amendment protected activity. You like this dude, and it's like, I understand that there's there's First Amendment protected activity that has been ruled upon as far as like the pedophile shit. Even then, this dude is still, in my opinion, riding the line. Like the police couldn't exactly explain to me where the fuck the line was, but they were very certain that he hadn't crossed it. First Amendment protected activity. But yeah, and that's the thing is it's like I was trying to explain to him like you can't just take like you can't be an AWOL soldier, take your what are the fuck DD2s or whatever the fuck they are to the trustee's office, have the trustee's office taking money, giving it to you so you can set up a fucking bunch of websites trying to normalize pedophilia. Like and then like he used the trustee's office woman's name on a bunch of 501c3 paperwork. Like he fraudulently created 501c3s utilizing a governmental official's name, and she knew about it like January something of 2017. So she had her name removed and then just fucking didn't do a goddamn thing else about it until I posted the shit on Facebook right around election time. And then it was take the post down. I'm getting attention nationwide. Yeah, you should. Like you fucking knew about this shit a year ago. This dude's trying to fuck everybody's kid. You're funding him, and all you decided to do was withdraw your name from the fraudulent fucking paperwork. But First Amendment protected activity around here in LaPorte. But, well, you know, we just had a cop locally get convicted of 3 counts of raping a disabled person that he was supposed to be like taken out for ice cream and shit, but instead they like found him in a park with his pants down in a van with her at night, you know. Like I said, there's the 3 cops that you see throughout my videos that let a drunk EMT go, and he killed 2 people who just happened to own the best fucking pizza place in town. They're all still 3 on the force. We had a local cop in Michigan City who was stealing pain pills, and from what I understand, herpes medication from fucking with the police chief's daughter, who's now in the prosecuting attorney's office as a victim's advocate, and trying to help the city attorney get victims advocacy services and explaining the law to him because he clearly needs it. Anyway, what else? Yeah, we had a coroner who caught a pain pill selling case. It just so happened in LaPorte County for a long time, if you overdosed on heroin, it was listed as a homicide because they were trying to get the drug stats down. Which if I was a coroner selling pain pills and somebody that I sold a bunch of pain pills came into as an overdose, fuck, I might write homicide down too. It's like, they don't know I'm being honest. Like it's the place that I live in is, it's amazing because if you watch my videos and you think that I'm fucking with the police, that they're actually not out here fucking shit up left and right. Move to LaPorte. Move to LaPorte, Indiana. If you fucking stay here, I'll be amazed. But they're, you know, it's the LaPorte County Prosecutor's Office in Indiana. They with one case set the literal bar for, and I quote, how much prosecutorial misconduct is too much prosecutorial misconduct. Like that's what the fuck the LaPorte County's prosecutor's office is currently famous for throughout the rest of the fucking state of Indiana, is being the low bar. Like what the fuck is rock bottom? Remember in LaPorte County? That's rock bottom. Yes. So yeah, look up LaPorte Police Department and see how many fuck ups. See which lawsuit shows up. Oh yeah, I'm definitely just scratching the surface. I'm working on a flow chart, and that'll probably be what actually gets me killed. One thing I can say about the internet is most of the people that are in control of the money and have been for a long time, all the old motherfuckers that are running the show have no fucking idea how the internet works. And they don't understand how easy shit is to find on the internet, how easy it is to track information down on the internet, how easy it is to figure out who owns who on the internet. Because, for one, most of these motherfuckers are proud of the shit that they're fucking doing. And they, they put their fucking titles out there. And then, to be perfectly honest, the government's done its part in making it, a little easier with, certain shit being online as well. Like in Indiana, my case is a beautiful thing. It'd be even better if they ran it the way it was supposed to. But you can find a lot of shit out on my case too. Like, a lot of times people get sued with their buddies. You figure out a connection real quick based upon who all settles a lawsuit together or who all beats one together. Shit like that. You can figure out what judge is going to act what way based upon how many times he's dismissed the lawsuit for the same fucking person or the same 10 people or what the fuck ever, and how many times he'll bury somebody else. And these are, like I said, all this shit is provable. It's all able to be done. It just has to be done. And that's really all there is to it. Like all the pieces to fix the engagement process for the citizen with the government and actually being involved. Like, these motherfuckers are removable. They're replaceable. All this shit's fucking possible. It's on paper. It's in the writing. It's in the law. Like, all the like Indiana, I know, has all kinds of processes for shit, impeachment, everything. People just don't fucking know about it because freedom, people don't want to know. They want to go and there's a fucking song. He says, what's worse, you buy a big ass plasma, watch and see where Dan Rathers told him to point the damn camera. Like, that's basically it. Like, most people don't want to know what the fuck is going on. So, like, if you audit, if you are recording in public, my opinion, I've said it before, I'll say it again, your next step is to learn the paperwork. Learn how to do your own paperwork. Because if you're recording in public, you're halfway to jail. Period. Halfway arrested. If you're recording in public, you're halfway arrested. Because that's the world we live in. Accountability is starting to fuck people's lives up. Transparency. You can do something on camera and overnight your entire fucking life is over with. Job, gone. Divorced, everything. Like, it's the power of the camera is fucking amazing. The next process, like, if you're recording, you're basically trying to document, you're collecting evidence. So be prepared to take it to the next fucking step. You know what I mean? What do you do with evidence? Take that shit to a courtroom. You get a ruling on it. You know what I mean? So if you're trying to escalate it, that's what you need to do. When you type in Laporte on YouTube, the third suggested result is Laporte corruption. Well, shit. How do we get to number 1, civilian? For real, I'm liking your videos too, man. You got me watching my own shit with piqued interest. So about half of the videos ago, I am an auditor. I will accept that. I don't consider myself an auditor at first, but First Amendment is the First Amendment. I am about petitioning my government for redress. That's what I have been doing essentially this entire time, whether I set out to do that or not, or that was ever my intentions, or I ever termed it that. I've been First Amendment auditing. It is what it is. I believe that I should have the right to petition and redress my government, and I'm gonna keep insisting on that shit until it's fucking done the absolute correct right way every fucking time, 100% of the time. If you watch the beginning of my videos, watch a lot of these motherfuckers are still here. The ones that are still here, watch how they act in the beginning of the videos and watch how they act now. Like, if you think that you can't change shit, I got proof. Like, you know, these motherfuckers went from calling cops and hitting panic buttons and doing all kinds of stupid ass shit. And now they fucking play their part and they do what the fuck they're told and they get it the fuck through it and they keep their fucking mouth shut and they don't do anything stupid because they've been educated. Like, I've went to court with their attorneys and beat them. Like, they've not been able to get a conviction for a single goddamn thing they've done. They're spending shit tons of fucking money to deal with me. Like, so now they don't create as many problems because they figured out that they can't get themselves out of them. And that's what the fuck it's what I taught these motherfuckers more than anything was that they can't get away with everything. That's why they act right when they do now. You know, when I go in here and I request some paperwork and they just give it to me, it's because they figured out that they couldn't make a big fucking spectacle and shut down the fucking downtown with a bunch of fucking armed motherfuckers over a couple copies of piece of paper without it turning into a shitstorm, because not everyone is going to just roll the fuck over and take it on the chin. Some people are going to prove it. Some people are literally going to sacrifice their own security to prove it. And then once they do, you can't do it again. You can't do it again because that becomes a pattern. You can't deny it the next time. You can't say that you've never done that because it's been proven that you did it the first time. It makes it a lot harder once you've been, like, think about it. Like, you ever cheated on a girlfriend? That's the end of your fucking relationship. Doesn't matter. After that, you got caught. Now you're always suspect. That's the way it works. So it's like once you catch them up, they start to actually think about the shit and they do it the right way. And that's all I've done here. Is it's like I showed these motherfuckers that they can be caught the fuck up, whether they got punished, whether all the motherfuckers that have quit or resigned have actually done it for me. Who knows? But after half the people that were involved are fucking gone, the other half acting right says something. And I'll take it. Like, in the beginning, what I explained was that asking for pieces of paper wasn't that big of a deal, and videotaping in public should not be treated like it's a fucking crime. Now they're videotaping me. Like, they're recording me back. So, like, that's a fucking win to me. I spent $20,000 on a fucking camera system so I can request to see the footage. Like, they hate to check the mail now. So it's I've desensitized them to what the fuck is really a trivial thing. Like, they overreacted to some bullshit. So I gave them some shit to fucking really worry about, and now the shit that's trivial, they treat like it's fucking trivial. Now a public records request is just a public records request, because I could be coming in that bitch to serve you. And that's really about all it is. Patterns and Practices Video Collection Unit. Yes, I like it. Jingy, we're going to make you a mod. But I mean, you got to follow through, to be perfectly honest. Like, if you get audited and your numbers don't add the fuck up, like, that's not the end of it. Like, I had a negative experience, and tried to fix it, and it turned into multiple other negative experiences. So here we are. But that's definitely the next step. Like, you really got to learn how to represent yourself. You got to, like, there's fucking one Solomon Radner in this whole country, and like, fucking, like, 9 times out of 10, you can do the GoFundMe, the PayPal. You can try to raise money to get bond. Yeah, Civilian X. I'm gonna do that here soon. I'll make that video. Damn, I lose my thought. Yeah, if you get arrested, you can do the PayPal, the GoFundMe, all that shit. You can try to raise bond and everything, and then you can do like I see a lot of people doing. They're going through the fucking process, and they're waiting on their fucking attorney, and they're doing all this shit, and then most of them end up either having to sign fucking plea bargains, or by the time it's fucking done, it's just a Pyrrhic victory. So it's like, you got to learn your shit. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you're out there putting yourself at fucking risk like this, you gotta know your fucking shit, because it's not just knowing where you can record and shit. You need to know about fucking everything. You need to be able to go through the whole process. Like, you need to be able to go to the distance for. I mean, that's my opinion, but I'm a strong opinion. I'm a strong advocate of if you want something done, you got to do it, or you want something done right, you got to do it. So fuck, man, I'm like out of it. Gotta go. It's been fun. But I'm getting fucking tired and loopy. And I was up pretty late last night too, and I've been fucking reading shit all day. So enjoying the weather a little bit. I'm gonna get the fuck off here, guys. Good chatting with everybody. Always a blast. I gotta let this dog out. News Now Marijuana, you were asking LaPorte PD or Michigan City PD. I think LaPorte is dumber, but Michigan City is more likely to fuck you up, to be honest. They're like a little more of the hood cops. But yeah, Civilian. What is it? There's 9 Human Rights Commission members that have resigned. The former mayor, the former city attorney, the former chief of police, the records clerk for the city police department just resigned, I believe. There's like 2, 3, maybe 4 cops gone. 5. Maybe 4. But yeah, I'll get names and pictures and where they're at in my videos. And I'm probably gonna put in for resignation forms, and I found a way to get disciplinary reports to prove if they were fired. Like, I'll be able to prove at least date and the reason according to their fucking bylaws or whatever, and who it was. I don't know how much more information I'll be able to get from that, but based upon what the statute says, is I should be able to get at least any terminations and any resignations as far as who they are and when they happened, and that should be enough. But I gotta put in that request here soon. But I'll probably upload a few more videos tomorrow with the shit I was talking about tonight, and then I'll upload the videos that I was referring to. I gotta take her out too, so it's time to go outside for potty break. Video is officially over. All right, I'll see you guys. Nice Cindy, nice Civilian, James, Froggy, Jingy, News Now Marijuana. Thanks everybody for watching. It's like 70 y'all, so the 15 officers. You guys can kiss the darkest part of my lily white ass.